This is the diagram I use in explaining layer 1. This is the layer where I make a list of how the crime happens, what clues there are, and how they will be dripped into the story. Here is a quick snapshot of a plot line I did not choose for Book 4. This is from Part 1, and these are the clues that are present at the scene of the crime. At the end of this video, I'll show you more of a rolling view of the long chronological list that this becomes at the end of this layer. I'm writing a police procedural, so in the first section, the case will be assigned and the detectives will respond to the scene. There may be a crime scene with clues or without clues, but there will be pressure to solve it anyway. This is the inciting incident. The detectives go off on a quest to find the culprit. Part 1 may also contain interviews of any eyewitnesses, like someone who found the body or the last person to see the victim alive, etc. You want to begin dripping the clues into the story slowly for the reader to start trying to solve it. You will also begin to drip background information about the characters. They are also best dripped throughout Parts 1 and Part 2 instead of any big info drops. I'm speaking from early experience. Thank God for editors. Part 2 in a police procedural reveals at least 2 suspects, if not 3 or 4. There will be witness interviews and detective discussions about the interviews when the witnesses are out of earshot. All suspects will have some motive for the crime, and these revelations will come in the end of Part 1, also in Part 2, and even Part 3, which we'll talk about next. In Part 2, the most likely suspect title will change between the various suspects as these additional clues and secrets arise. The end of Part 2 will be the approximate middle of the story, so you'll want a big reveal or a shocking event or an event that changes direction of the investigation. And also, if timing to solve the crime is part of the suspense, you want to put more pressure on the detectives to solve it. Now, Part 2 is filled with revelation of flawed characters, secrets that they may be keeping. Who the characters really are begins to change. Part 3 is where the biggest secrets and revelations come out. The big secret or revelation should be foreshadowed in the first half of the story, but it should feel like a nothing clue or a throwaway clue. The initial section of Part 3 will be more revelations and the detectives weighing the evidence they know and talking about the various motivations. The detectives may not agree in Part 3. This could add to the sleight of hand for the reader. The end of Part 3 may give the reader the impression that the case is unsolvable, that there are too many suspects, all of whom could have done it. This could be seen as the dark night of the soul moment in the story, meaning that the culprit will get away with it. The first half of Part 4 will be the crescendo, where the detectives corner the culprit or catch him in some criminal act, or even find irrefutable evidence that will lock up the case. This is where the big reveal takes place. This could be where he or she is arrested, or pronounced guilty, or is indicted, etc. You want to tie up any loose ends in the crime story as well as the subplots. Each story will be different, of course. The second half of Part 4 will be the wrap-up of the crime. I like to explain the plot fully for any readers who aren't paying 100% attention. Most people are busy and may be reading parts of the story with one eye open. That's why I like to explain very quickly the whole plot line, just in case they miss something. It's good to have a scene where you show the characters who have changed and grown a bit over the story and character arcs. The last section is to show the new normal, how the experience changed the characters and their lives going forward. And if you're writing a series, You may also want to drop a clue that this story continues and in some way make your readers want to read the next book. This is a GIF I created from one of the plot lines I did not choose for Book 4. By viewing it, I hope this gives you an idea of what my manuscript looks like at the end of Layer 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned anything, please click on the like button. If you would like to see more videos in the Peek Behind the Novel series or any of my other videos, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.